Hello, and welcome back to Random Vids. So about 2 years ago is when I ranked every single Mario Party and Mario Kart game. So today I'm gonna do the same thing, but this time with the 3D Mario games. Now there's another 3D Mario game I do have, which is Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U, but it came along with the Wii U when we got it, so there's no cartridge of it. But we'll rank that one too. So anywho, without further ado, let's get into my absolute least favorite 3D game out of the ones I have. So, here we go. Number 8, Super Mario 3D Land. Just like the Mario parties, unfortunately the 3DS ones is just the most boring out of them all. And what's so interesting about Mario 3D Land? It's like a 2D platformer, but 3D. Wow, so cool. I've never grown up with this game. I only got it just for funsies. And I've played it, and it is a really boring one to play. There's just nothing interesting about Super Mario 3D Land except for the fact, oh, everything's 3D-ified now. And it's overall just so boring. And they do a much, much better job with the sequel game that, of course, is Super Mario 3D World. 3D Land just feels like they didn't really know what they wanted to do with it, so they made it a very boring 3D platformer. Nothing really stands out about this game either. You can play as Mario or Luigi, like every other 3D game. You can run around the level. The only problem about this game is that everything just seems so boring. At least in 3D World, they give you a lot of stuff to look at and to do, but 3D Land, it doesn't give you anything fun to do or look at. I wouldn't understand if anyone would randomly pick this over 3D World. I feel like they just picked it just because they wanted to troll me. And that's probably true because I don't know anyone who likes 3D Land over 3D World, because that'd be ridiculous. 3D Land is just so pointless, and the music ain't even that good. The graphics ain't the greatest ever. I don't know. It's just not for me at all, and I think everyone can agree to. It's just here to show off the 3DS, and that is it. They really don't do anything with this game, and in my opinion, it is easily the worst 3D game that I have. It's just so boring and dry. Even the world map is so dry and lame. Like, good lord, even the 2D games are more interesting than this. Look at Mario Wonder, that's a 2D game. I'd take that any day over this game. 3D Land, very boring, and in my opinion, it is my absolute least favorite out of the 3D Mario games. Number 7, Super Mario Sunshine. I might get a little flack of this being only at number 7 when there's other Mario 3D games that could be arguably worse. But in my opinion, I just never got into Mario Sunshine at all. And yes, I do understand. That does say 8 shines only, which means I have not finished the game yet, nor gotten close to finishing the game. But I don't even need to finish the game to tell you that this game ain't my favorite. Man, for a 2002 game, it's something. It's kind of interesting, at least unlike 3D Land, where you can tell it's just there to get the money. Sunshine at least tries something, and it can be kind of cool. It's nice that you have this flood pack that you can use, and the movesets, there's a lot of movesets as well. The only problem is, I don't really know the movesets that much, because I haven't played this game all that much, because I'm not really interested in this game, honestly. It does have really good music, I will give it that. Like this song, for example, or When You Go Underground, or Bianca Hills, or Rico Harbor, and of course the Secret Stage song. My main problem about Mario Sunshine is that it is ridiculously hard. I don't mind Mario games getting a little hard here and there, but good lord, Mario Sunshine has a lot of difficulties. And I haven't played all the difficult stuff yet, but just look at the secret stages. Holy cow, what happened here? And then you have the infinite lily pad one where you stand on a lily pad. And then you have the King Boo thing where you have to pull the roulettes and stuff. I don't know. This game is just really, really hard, and I can tell when playing it. Another thing is that the controls aren't the best either. From being on the wonky GameCube controller, sure, maybe at the time people thought, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever, and I guess compared to the N64 controllers, sure, but look at the stuff we have nowadays. We have the much nicer Switch and even Wii U controllers, and those just feel way more easier to control opposed to the wonky GameCube controller. So it's kind of, and Mario seems very stiff in this game too. He doesn't really move around freely like games like Mario Odyssey. It kind of takes him a bit and then he moves around. I don't know. It's such a weird design. Plus, the theme never changes. It's always beach. Sure, that's really cool and I do like the theme of it, but if you wanted it to change, sorry, it doesn't change at all. Maybe if we get like a newer Mario Sunshine game, then it would be a little better, but I don't know. Mario Sunshine just never got to me. I've never had a soft spot for it or anything. Also, the fact that I've never really, even though I've grown up with this one, I never got it until just recently. So, because I never had a GameCube until like 5-6 years ago. And for Mario Sunshine, I'm not really missing much. If I want to play a 3D game, I'll play any of the others that are above this one. Sunshine is the only one that I'm just kind of, well, besides 3D Land, of course. Sunshine, I just can't, I don't know. I just don't really have fun playing with it. It just feels like a chore trying to play it, honestly. Because a lot of the shines, like I said, are just so painfully annoying to get. Not even Mario 64 is this hard. Good lord, Mario Sunshine, what did you do? Not every shine is hard, but with the wonky controls and then having to go here and there and then the camera being stupid as always, it's just no fun. Sure, some of the shines are fun, but I don't want to play a Mario game to get mad. I want to play a Mario game to have fun. And unfortunately, Sunshine just gets me mad sometimes, so it's unfortunately my second least favorite 3D game. Nothing else I really have to say, so let's move on. Number 6, Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U. Now this is more like it. This is what 3D Land should have been. And unfortunately, we just gotta wait 2 more years till we got 3D World. And man, it's a way, way better game than 3D Land is. This is how Super Mario 3D Land should have been, but unfortunately not. 3D World fixes all the problems that 3D World had. Number 1, the very annoying music in 3D Land. Most of it has either changed or they redid it a little bit, make it sound better. Another one is the lack of characters. They only had Mario and Luigi. Well, this time you can play as Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, and Rosalina, which is awesome. Another thing is that the levels were very, very boring, which is understandable. The levels were very, very boring. So this time around, they spruced the levels up and made them a lot of fun to play with, a lot of cool new themes and stuff that we've never seen before. And another thing is that the world map was so lacking too, and it was probably the weakest world map out of any world map. You walk straight the whole time. Well, guess what? 3D World spruces that up too and lets you walk around wherever you want. This is a way, way better game than 3D Land was. But you might be wondering, why is this only at number 6? That's because we have the Switch port. And the Switch port is basically the Wii U one, except the Switch one is better. The last time I pulled this game up was probably 2020, before 3D World Bowser Fury existed. So, yeah, this game is a very good game, and you also gotta love the Captain Toad levels too. They're a lot of fun to play, and they even inspired the whole Captain Toad game. And man, have I mentioned that music? 3D World has an amazing soundtrack. It's probably one of the best out of any Mario game, honestly. This game was so good that they added it to Mario Maker 2, which is amazing because it's a good game. And overall, it's a really fun game. The only reason why it's at number 6 is because we have the Switch version. So the Wii U version doesn't really get played much anymore. But it's still a pretty fun game. It's just that the Switch version's a little better. Nothing else I have to say, but Super Mario 3D World This is how Super Mario 3D Land should have been in the first place. Number 5, Super Mario Galaxy 2. I had a really tough time choosing between this one and the first one. Which one was better? Which one was worse? I feel like that's what everyone say. And I don't really know, honestly. But yet again, if you look at the star count, I haven't finished the game yet. In fact, we just recently got this game last year for Christmas. 2022's Christmas. So this is a fairly new game to us. At least this is better than Mario Sunshine is. Because at least, like, I don't know, a lot of the problems I have with Mario Sunshine aren't quite as present in Mario Galaxy 1 or 2. Like, for example, the controls in Mario Sunshine can get very annoying to deal with, but in Mario Galaxy, they're much more fluid and much easier to use. Instead of FLUDD, you have this little spin attack thing, which is really cool. And that's basically all for that. And the Galaxy theme to it is just so cool. And although I do like the beach theme too, because this is a newer game, everything looks a lot more cleaner and crisper. Well, this is even newer than Galaxy 1, so of course it's going to look way cleaner and crisper than this and Sunshine, because that's almost 10 years apart from each other. Another thing is the amount of difficulty in Sunshine. That's not really too present in this game. Sure, the game is still hard, but not ridiculously hard like Sunshine is, because at least now we have decent controls, which make the game a lot more fun to run around. And yeah, it just makes it way, way better than Mario Sunshine is. And the music is pretty good too. Now, I'd say the only reason why this isn't quite as good as Galaxy 1 is, for one, the soundtrack itself. Although they did copy and paste a lot of songs from Galaxy 1 to Galaxy 2, which that's fine because I think Galaxy 1 has a really good soundtrack. They also missed out on some of the songs like Chasing the Bunny song, for example. But they do have the Yoshi song in this one, which that's really cool. I think it's a really good song at least, and it's a brand new song, and I think it sounds really good. But there's just some songs in Mario Galaxy that I really like that aren't in this one, unfortunately. But the big reason why this one isn't quite as good is the hub world itself. The hub world is just the shape of Mario's head. Okay, that's something. Instead of this really big cool observatory that we have in Galaxy 1, now it's just the shape of Mario's head. And it's honestly kind of disappointing. And there's no Rosalina really in this game either. Not like Galaxy 1 at least. I haven't seen her at all yet at least. Instead we get this big fat Luma. Okay. Who asked for a star to replace Rosalina? That's very uncalled for. Sure, I like the Lumas. They're pretty cute and all, but where's Rosalina? Like, come on. That's kind of silly if you think about it. And both of those big reasons are probably the main reason why 1 is a little better than 2, although they're both really close. So yeah, good old Mario Galaxy 2. It's a pretty good game. I do find it a little overrated, but I mean, it's going to be overrated. It's a Mario game. Most of them are overrated, except for 3D Land and 3D World even. But Galaxy 2, I think it's just a little overrated. It's good, but it's not that good. Nothing else I really have to say. Pretty good game. Number 4, Super Mario Galaxy 1. There's nothing like starting the game and hearing that relaxing music. I'm not a big fan of the relaxing, slower type songs in Mario Galaxy, but you know what? This one's alright. It's not that bad. And actually, unlike Galaxy 2, I've actually made it a lot further in this game. Also the fact that I've had it a lot longer than Galaxy 2 as well. But I played a lot more of it, and I found it pretty fun. I also like the layout of Galaxy 1 a lot more than Galaxy 2 as well. Instead of touching a button and it shows you all these weird worlds, now you just go into these little rooms and then you get new galaxies from there, which that's kind of cool. I like the way they do that. And also like how you get these Grandmaster stars and it lights up the observatory too. So basically, it's kind of like Galaxy 2, just a little different. Now, this game doesn't have Yoshi, unfortunately, and you can't play as Luigi until after the game. But it also does have the better soundtrack, in my opinion. Songs like this, for example, aren't found in Galaxy 2. And there's other songs that are only in this one, but not in Galaxy 2 as well, that are actually really good. Like the Chasing the Bunny song, for example. And man, this hub world is a lot better than Mario Galaxy 2's just circle Mario head. This hub is actually a lot of fun, and it's fun running around and exploring everything. And even, it's fun turning on the lights, too, to make it look better and stuff. I don't know, it just does a much better job than Mario Galaxy 2, but I'm sure most people can agree with me on that one. And also, instead of this random Luma being taking over Rosalina's job, now it's Rosalina, and she even has some stories to tell us and her Lumas, which it's pretty interesting. This was the first game that Rosalina was ever in, and she's remained a really popular Mario character, and a really good one at that. Definitely one of my favorite Mario characters, that's for sure. Overall, Galaxy 1 and 2 are very close to each other, but there's just something about Galaxy 1 that just pushes it above Galaxy 2 just a little bit. Not by a lot, but definitely enough. But yeah, nothing else I really have to say about Super Mario Galaxy. It's a pretty fun 3D game. And like Galaxy 2, it's at least not too hard, and the controls are pretty nice and easy. I'm glad that they took a decent amount of the good things about Galaxy 1 and transported it to Galaxy 2. Just the whole world and Rosalina making an appearance, but other than that, I like the way they did this. Anywho, nothing else I really have to say. Galaxy 1, it's a good one. So now let's move on. Number 3, Super Mario 64 DS. Now I actually have played the original Super Mario 64 before, because we actually do have a Nintendo 64 hidden up in the attic. But I felt like it's been a long time since I played that game, so I decided not to include it. Plus, that'd be too much work for me. Oh man, going up in there, in the attic, trying to get the N64. Too much work for me, I'm lazy. Anywho, Super Mario 64 DS. It's a really good remake to the original Mario 64. And, man, it actually looks pretty good for a DS game. This game is pretty nostalgic to me too, because this was one of the first Mario games that I actually ended up getting. Because, I mean, the DS was the very first console I ever got, and this game was one of the first games I've ever got. Man, I like the way that it not only ports over the same game, but it expands on it. Like, instead of grabbing Mario's face like the original, now you draw his face. And there's a lot of extra stars added to levels as well. And they even redid some of the levels to make them better. Stuff that people complained about in Mario 64, more and more fixed. Sure, that means no more BLJs probably, but hey, it's still a pretty fun game, and it's nostalgic. Plus, the game, yet again, isn't too hard, which I'm glad. It's like a Mario Galaxy type difficulty. It ain't too easy, but it's not too hard either. Sunshine definitely takes the cake for the hardest 3D Mario game, that is for sure. But at least Super Mario 64 DS, that's at least beatable, because I've beat it before. I've beaten Bowser before, and I remember that. Oh man. Man, this game is just so nostalgic, because I've played it a lot when I was really young. Another thing is the Rec Room, and that has a bunch of different little mini games that you can play. So that's really cool. They didn't have that in Mario 64. What other 3D game lets you play mini games? Like, come on. Mario Sunshine don't do that. Mario 3D Land don't do that. Not even Mario 3D World does. Not even Odyssey does that. But yeah, I haven't done Odyssey yet. We'll talk about that one later. But man, Super Mario 64 DS, it's just such a fun Mario game. It's not perfect though. I still think that it is a little, by a little, I mean I think it's very overrated. Especially the original version. I don't understand what's so fun about the blocky ugliness about it, but okay. Super Mario 64 DS I think is still pretty fun. I also like how you can play as different characters as well. Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, and even Wario. but no Waluigi. Okay, that's probably another reason why he's overrated, because he's not in Mario 64 DS and everyone wants him. Ugh, I swear. I will never understand how that guy is so overrated. Anywho, let's get back on topic. And nothing else really to say actually about Mario 64 DS. It's a good game. Not my favorite, but it's a good one. Number 2, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Oh man, I was so happy when this game got ported to the Switch. So the Wii U version's fun and all, but that's on the Wii U. Switch is the way better console. Also the fact that our Wii U gamepad broke, so we couldn't play some of the fun levels like Hands-on Hall, for example. But I'm so glad this game, I can play that level again. And they changed some things about the game too, like they made everyone run a little faster, for example, which that's cool. And you can climb up walls for longer. Yet again, 2 really good things to just make the game better. And you can play multiplayer in the Cat and Toad levels. Yet again, they didn't really need to change anything about 3D World. They just needed to do some little things here and there, and I'm glad they did. And like I said before, Super Mario 3D World is just an amazing game and easily one of my favorites. But it gets boosted up with the extra mode, Bowser's Fury. Although this does definitely feel like a weaker Mario Odyssey in a way, and even a weaker 3D World in a way, it still is a lot of fun to play, even though it's mega short. But I'm just glad we got another 3D game that we got to play. It got tacked on to 3D World, and it's just really cool. And man, it looks really good. So somewhat. Okay, maybe Bowser's Fury ain't the nicest or prettiest looking game ever, because most of it is just water the whole time. But it's really cool running around the different worlds and getting the cat shines, with all things. I like how out of all games, this game, the Bowser's Fury, references Mario Sunshine in a way. Okay, because you do get the cat, you get shines, but now they're cat shines. And you get Bowser Jr. in the game with his paintbrush, but this time he helps you. And then you get Bowser, who looks like that. I don't know. That's Fury Bowser. He gets mad because why not? And I love how easy the game is too. I'm tired of all these dumb Mario games where they try to make it as hard as possible to make you rage as much as possible. Mario Sunshine. I really hate when games do that. Why would that be fun? I want to play the game and enjoy the game, not rage at the game. And Bowser's Fury basically does that. It is a pretty dang easy Mario game. And I'm glad that it is, because otherwise it probably wouldn't be this fun to play. Bowser's Fury is a lot of fun to play, and I like all the little side stuff you can do in that game. Plus the music is yet again just spot on. It's just so good. And there's a lot of really good songs, like the Ice song, for example. We gotta do a top 5 Bowser's Fury songs eventually. I also like how Bowser Jr. helps you in this game too. Instead of being the little brat that he normally is, he's actually helping Mario this time around, which is really goofy. And there's not been really any other Mario games that's really ever done that. It'd be really cool seeing another game like that. I also like how Bowser Jr. has his paintbrush just like Mario Sunshine, and even does little paintings too. It's kind of cute. I also like the little kittens that are everywhere, and then you can let them follow you and stuff. You can pick them up. It's just so much fun having a whole bunch of them just try following you. It's just, it's so goofy and it's so fun. Plus they're cute. I'm surprised they haven't made any official plushies of them. There's another thing I was going to... Oh, yeah. The only real negative about it is the boss fights itself. If you remember my video last week on the top 10 Mario Odyssey Kingdoms, or ranking the Mario Odyssey Kingdoms, I mentioned how I would much rather play the game just to enjoy it and look around and get all the little stuff, instead of doing all the dumb mini bosses and big bosses. And unfortunately, Bowser's Fury is all about Bowser, because every 3 to 5 minutes, Bowser will come back and want to fight you again, even though you've beaten the game. But he still wants to come back and fight you, which that doesn't make sense. I guess he has alternate endings, but why would you make a game like that? Why not just have, one ending? I might just want to play Bowser's Fury just to have fun playing Bowser's Fury. I don't want to play just to fight Bowser every 5 minutes. Like, geez Louise, that's enough. Even if it isn't the hardest boss fight ever, like, still, I just want to play Bowser's Fury to enjoy the game, not to fight Bowser all the time. That does get a little annoying, and that definitely brings down Bowser's Fury a little bit. And the game is really short as well. But other than that, it's a pretty fun game, and it's definitely deserving of the number 2 spot. Number 1, Super Mario Odyssey. Of course this is going to be number 1. What other Mario 3D game has this much stuff to do in it? Exactly none. There has never been a Mario game quite like this before, and man, is it a blast to play through. Now, when we first got Mario Odyssey back in 2017, it took me a minute to warm up to the game, because at first I just found it kind of odd, but when playing it, I actually had a lot of fun. At the time, I never really got too excited about new Mario games and stuff, but man, when I started playing Mario Odyssey, I couldn't stop. It's just so much fun. Now, sure, it might not be the best story ever or anything, but it doesn't need to be. Mario Odyssey is definitely a game made for people like me who love to explore and just have fun running around, opposed to the big story like every other game has, like Galaxy and Sunshine and all the other ones. Like, those ones are fine and all, but man, nothing compares to the Goliath that is Super Mario Odyssey. And it is actually the best. Okay, it's not the best-selling game on the Switch, but it's one of the best-selling games on the Switch. That award goes to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But, I mean, man, the amount of things you can do in this game is crazy. It's a very interesting 3D world, or it's a very interesting 3D game. Unlike Galaxy, where you have like the hub worlds, and even Super Mario 64 and Sunshine, you don't really have a hub world in this game. Well, maybe the hat, but unlike all the other games, you don't really want to stay in your hub that long. You want to go out and explore all the other worlds, and the story is pretty. I mean, like I said, not the most in-depth story ever, but it's still fun. I love going to all the kingdoms and exploring them, and sure, some are better than others, like we talked about last week, but man, they give you so much to do, and a lot of the kingdoms are a lot of fun too. From the retro Mario 64 Castle Gardens area to the what's the word? Mysterious of the Cap Kingdom, to the awesome Cascade Kingdom, to the Goliath Metro Kingdom, to the desert of the Desert Kingdoms, and even the jungly vibes of the Lost and Wooded Kingdom, and even on the moon. Heck, they even have a kingdom focused on food of the Luncheon Kingdom, and it's actually one of my favorite kingdoms. There is so much to do in this game, you can never get bored. Yeah, I know, the people who like to pick out and complain about Mario Odyssey, my brother, they always talk about how a lot of Power Moons are the same, which I guess that's sorta true. But because the game is so massive and there's so many Power Moons to collect, it doesn't matter that some of the Power Moons are the exact same. Sure, you see Captain Toad in all the levels, you see the Toad who wants the music, you see Peach in all the levels, and so on and so forth. You can buy it in the shop in every level. But that's just really creative. Like, they're not going to make every single Power Moon brand new in each level. They got to make some duplicates here and there, and that's fine. Unlike Bowser's Fury, where it's a smaller game with smaller things to do, with not as many things to do, it definitely makes it feel a little more repetitive, trying to do the same Power Moon or same cat shines over and over again, because you definitely do that a lot. This game, you don't really do that much. Like I said, some Power Moons are duplicates, but not a lot. A lot of them are really brand new. And you even get these little side worlds that you can visit as well, and they can be pretty fun to walk around. Those are basically the levels of the game. The hub world is the whole world itself. The Mushroom Kingdom, Metro Kingdom, all of that is the hub world. It's just that the levels are hitting inside. the hub world. And that's what I really like about the game, is that you can explore it freely, get any power moon you want in order, and it just makes the game really easy and just a lot of fun. Now, some people might prefer the story mode of like Galaxy better, where you're forced to play worlds and stuff, but Galaxy gets boring to me. Odyssey never gets boring to me because there's no chance you could ever get bored. It doesn't let you get bored. There is beyond millions of things to do in this game, and if you get tired of a kingdom, well, then you just go to another kingdom. And you can get power moons, like I said, in order from any order you want to. You can sort of do that in Mario 64 as well, but that game just ain't quite as fun as this game. It's not as fun to run around. This game is just amazing. And yes, you can only play as Mario in this game, but because there's so much to do in this game, I don't really care. And you gotta love the different costumes you can put on too. They're just so much fun, and even with like the DLC, you got even more costumes and stuff. And if you noticed in my last video, I tried to do the costume that matches each kingdom, so that's why Mario is in his instrument uniform here. But yeah, the costumes are a lot of fun. I like how you can buy things in the shop. The shops are fun, like the Crazy Cap shop. And kind of like Flood from Mario Sunshine, Cappy is just a lot of fun to use. Unlike Mario Sunshine, Mario Odyssey is a lot less stiff and more easygoing, and the Switch controls feel amazing to use for this game. You can do a whole bunch of different flips and side jumps and double jumps, and you can do everything in this game. You can roll, anything from the previous games you can basically do in this game. The only thing I think is the dive, but that's not really that big of a deal, is it? No, it's not. But man, there's a lot of moves you can do. And then, of course, the infinite Cappy jump. Man, oh man, I'm going to lose my voice. Another thing is the music. I don't know if this has the greatest soundtrack ever, but it definitely has a lot of good tunes in it. Like anything from the Luncheon Kingdom, the Wooded Kingdom has a good song. Anything from the Metro Kingdom, and of course, Jump Up Superstar. Man, oh man, that song is amazing. It's one of those songs that's just gonna stick around forever. Anytime I hear Jump Up Superstar, it just puts a big old grin on my face. It tells me, hey, you're about to play an amazing Mario 3D game. And it was right. I did play an amazing 3D Mario game. And it just makes me want to have more. Unfortunately, we haven't got Mario Odyssey 2 yet, but here's to hope in the future we get a Mario Odyssey 2, because man, this game is amazing. And heck, it even revived Pauline as a character, because now she's in like every game now. So I love how Mario Odyssey revived her character, and they introduced a lot of interesting side characters too. Instead of fighting the Koopalings like we always do, they have a lot of interesting little mini-bosses, and they're a lot of fun. So yeah, nothing else I really have to say. Mario Odyssey, in my opinion, is the absolute best 3D Mario game. You can ask me 10 years from now and I will say the exact same thing. Unless they make Odyssey 2 and it somehow is better. But there is a 0% chance that any 3D Mario game would ever surpass Mario Odyssey. This game is just so giant. There's so much to do, and it's just so much fun. It's a lot of fun booting it up and just running around. Because there's so much to do. It's endless. Even if you got all the moons, heck, you can just explore everything for fun. So in my opinion, Super Mario Odyssey is my absolute favorite Mario 3D game of all time. And it's probably one of my favorite Mario games of all time too. Right up there with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So it's probably actually my favorite Mario game of all time. Well, I like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe a lot too, but this game, I don't know. Those two are really tough. Anywho, there's nothing much I really have to say. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you on Sunday. So, peace out.